this here is a R7260X. It's 11 years old and it released back in 2013. The reason I'm testing this is it's quite close to a PS4's graphics performance. Now it's not the exact match, but it comes close enough. It's about 10 to 15%. Now the CPU I'm pairing with this is an i7 2600K with 32 gigabytes of DDR3 1600 megahertz. Now, would it bottleneck this GPU, you might ask? Well, surprisingly, it does not bottleneck it at all. So it's not, even though the CPU is 13 years old and this GPU is 11 years old and it's newer, it does not bottleneck it. Okay. This is Cyberpunk 2077. Now for the graphics settings, we're going to go in here. First off, I'm recording with a camera instead of other ways because if I record directly from the PC, it impacts performance by at least 10 to 20 FPS. And I don't have a capture card, so I'm doing the next best thing I can do, and that is recording with the camera. So if we check the settings, we are on lowest settings across the board. This medium is also low. And then we have Fidelity FX Super Resolution FSR to quality. And we're getting into the 40s and 50s here. Let's just get a vehicle and drive around a bit. And there will be no vehicles around. Wait a second. No, don't go. Yeah, here's a vehicle. There we go. In the 40s, 30s, as you can see, the GPU is maxed out at 100%. It will drop a bit now and then, but that's just driver related. There is some input latency with the performance, but that's maybe due to the CPU as well. There is some stutters, but it's not too bad. It's a playable experience, I'd say. Hasn't dropped from 30. Okay, so let's get an average frame rate. There we go. We have 30, okay, average of 38. 1% low of 17, but it jumps between 17 and 20. 27 now. It will get more accurate with time. Let's go a bit deeper into the setting. Let's go this way. It's pretty playable, I'd say. As long as it doesn't drop from 30 on the average. This place looks a little bit more demanding than usual. It dropped down to 29 for a second there, but it's still averaging above 30. And the trend 1% lows are 21. Just get here, climb into another vehicle. Where is another vehicle? Here it is. Okay, we're dropping it to the 29, but it's still playable. If it's a bit stuttery, but it's, as you can see, the frame time is spiking a little bit. But I can say if you really need to play this game, you might want a new GPU, but if you're okay with this bad experience, you can still play it. That's what I'd say about this. Now this is a little bit higher than 720p, it's 1440 by 900p resolution. So you are going to maybe want to put it to 720p with FSR 2.0 on or 1.0 on quality. So it's going to be a really bad resolution to play on, but it's going to be playable at least. 720p would be the bare minimum to play this game on. It's already a bit fuzzy. The image is fuzzy, but not bad at all. Okay, there we have it. An average of 36, 1% low of 20, and 0.1% low of 12. Okay, here we have Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and the resolution is going to be 1440 by 900p, field of view 94%, and resolution scale 100%. Now for the graphics, we're gonna do the low quality graphics, basically everything on its lowest yet again. Let's continue. Let's see how many frames per second we get. Okay, we are in game and we're getting already into the 30s. This is quite heavy for the R7260X, but it's still running. Image does not look too bad for the resolution it's on, and I don't think there's any upscale techniques. If I'm missing it, let's just go in here, graphics, there's no upscaling, so we are good on that. Let's just start with getting the average. Okay, we have 38. Okay, there's a huge stutter. You hear some enemies, so let's get some action. Come on, yeah. Okay, there are some stutters in this game. When action is apparent, there's some stutters. And there's another huge stutter. Okay. It smoothed out a bit during action. We're still averaging 30s. It feels a little bit more playable than before. Not as huge stutters anymore. We're still in the 30s on average. GPU is 100% utilized at 70 degrees Celsius. Come on. Are you done yet? Okay, there we go. Let's just restart the average and see if the stutters are still as apparent. As you can see, the stutters are way less. We are also averaging about 40 now. So it smooths out after a few seconds. Well, it looks like that. I'm not sure it's going to be this way all the time, but it seems to be playable. Not bad. Okay, in bushes it's a little bit more heavy, dropping to the low 30s. There we go. Okay, so the average is around 30s. It is playable, but it does not, the textures looks a little bit bland. But it is low settings. I mean, what do you expect from an 11-year-old graphics card that was mid-range at that time? Okay, I'm almost done for you. And we're averaging 35 with 26% low and 23% 1% lows. 0.1% lows. Not bad at all. Let's try and explore some more before we... Okay, now that we're out of the fighting area, frame rate is going a little bit higher. Yep, now we're in the 40s. So that depending on the scene it will be a little bit difficult. There's probably some scenes that will drop from 30, but overall it seems to be stable above 30. And there you have it for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Now on to the next one. And now it's Elden Ring's time. Now we're running at a resolution of 1024 by 640. It's quite low settings because this is indeed a quite demanding game. Anti-aliasing, okay, let's just focus. There we go. Anti-aliasing is turned on to high with the rest of the settings on low. With grass quality on medium, let's just turn that. Yeah, medium is the lowest it can go. There we go. Now let's get into it. Okay, now we're in Limgrave. And we're getting 30s. Let's just go down here. Well, this game needs my focus more than I can monitor it. Okay. No. Okay. I did not expect to die that quickly, but let's try that again. Okay, let's just turn on the average frame rate. There we go. And try to survive this time. And this is close to a very bad experience. You can see it drops down to 28 FPS. It's still playable. It's not extremely bad, but it's getting on to lower end side. It's a very low resolution at the start as well. And we're done for yet again. Maybe explore next time. Okay, now we just got to around 40s. With 1% low of 25. Now it's dropping because of the loading screen. Let's just reset that. Let's go this way. Okay, now it's up into the 50s, 40s. Then through, yeah, okay, there's a huge stutter for a moment. So you're gonna expect to get around 30s, low 30s all the time. You might want to upgrade indeed if you have the money, because this is not. Let me just see if I can turn something lower. Let's just drop the anti-aliasing to low and go back. Okay, now it looks absolutely horrible, but do we get some FPS? Does not seem like it. We're still in low 30s. Let's just see if we can do anything else. 800 by 500, yes. There's nothing we can do to get lower settings here. That's about it. And the graphics now looks absolutely horrible from my point of view. I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but maybe you should upgrade. This game is not going... It's amazing that it can run it. I mean, this is an 11-year-old graphics card. Now, do we have a stable FPS about 30 now that it's that low resolution? It seems like it. So if you really don't have money and you still have this graphics card, you can get by with it. It's not the best, but you can get by with it. It is playable now, less stuttery, less slow motion. But the graphics aren't looking too well at the moment. But some sacrifices need to be made to make old graphics cards be able to play newer titles, and this is one of them. I can literally not even read that text. I think it's escape. So yeah, maybe just get something a little bit better. Something like a R9 270 or something, just a tad bit better. I mean, even a GTX 1060 is not expensive these days. You can always sell this card for about $10 to $20, and just add another 30 and you got yourself almost enough money to get the 1060. So this is not recommended. The only thing I'm showing you is that how amazing it is that such an old GPU can actually run a game like this. Okay, and we're done for. Averaging 39 with 1% low of 20 and a 0.1% low of 5. Not bad. We are now going to test Uncharted 4: A Thief's End. It's compiling shaders while it has been for about almost an hour. It's 95% now. And let's just check the settings first. Now, advanced graphics, we're going to go low with model quality standard, anisotropic filtering low, shadows low, reflections low, ambient occlusion low. And display, as you can see, here's the GPU. Okay, we're going to run it at the native resolution, which is 1440 by 900, and it automatically goes to rendered resolution 1440 by 810. FSR is off at render scale at 100%, and that's about it. Let's just wait for that shader compiler to finish. Now finally 100%. Let's get into the story, and now I'm going to use hidden in plain sight story number 11, because that's where I lost were. Just turn on the frame rate capturing. Now let's just start average frame rate. It's quite stuttery. Let's see if it smooths out. Try that again. There we go. It's a little bit less stuttery after a while. Let's start the scene or whatever is happening. It's actually quite amazing that a GPU from 2013 can run a game this new. Albeit it is low settings, but it still looks quite beautiful for low settings. Okay, it drops down to 29 now. With average 34, 1% low 24. And there was a big stutter, another one. Okay, it drops down to 20s now, 24. That's quite intensive. Let's see. Drops down to 12 FPS at the moment. Okay, we're now going to test Spiderman Remastered, the PC version from Insomniac. Okay, settings. Okay, graphic settings. We're running 1440 by 900p, so it's basically 900p. Aspect ratio. Okay, upscale method is off. Anti-aliasing is TAA. We're running at a very low preset with basically everything turned off except bloom. Lens flares are on. Field of view is increased to 6. And that's about it. Texture filtering is trilinear. Okay, let's just continue and see if we can get any decent FPS with this 13-year-old, oh no, it's 11-year-old graphics card. For the time it released, it was basically just a low-end gaming GPU. Just focus. There we go. Whoa, this is actually a lot better than what I expected for a whole city. Okay, let's just get our averages. It drops into the 30s, of course. So for average already we have above 40, but it's steadily dropping a bit because some scenes drops into low 30s, but this is actually quite a good experience. The game actually looks quite well for low settings and it's pretty much playable, there's no issues. Okay, there was a huge drop to the 22s, but it's not felt that bad. Okay. And you can actually play quite fast. There is some stutters, especially if you turn quickly, but this is quite playable. Even with stutters and lower frame rates, it's not as bad as some other games. Okay, there you can see the frame rate drops down to under 30 yet again. But on average we are getting in the high 30s with 1% lows of 21 and 14. 0.1% lows. So I'd say this is actually quite a good experience for such an old card. Now, of course, there's way better ways to experience this game. I mean, you can get a 1060 or 1070 or RX 580 and you'll have a lot better frame rate and quality. But if you got one of these cards back in the day, I think you got your money's worth. Now the frame rate sometimes drops below 30, but for the most part it stays above 30, and that's quite nice. I'd give this a pass. It's playable for me. It feels quite playable. See, now FPS drops a little bit more than usual. It's usually when we go very fast when it drops a bit. Let's climb this building. For the most part, I'd say it's playable. Remember, you can still lower the resolution or use FSR. Let's quickly use that and see how it performs then. Upscale method, FSR2. We're gonna go with quality because we are at the low resolution. Okay, it doesn't seem to help quite much. It is actually performing a bit worse in my opinion. Let's just see if there's some delay on applying or something. We're now getting 40s and 50s, so it is actually working a little bit. Let's just try and go a little bit faster and see if there's any discrepancies with that. Okay, we're not dropping under 30 yet, so maybe we got ourselves a winner. Okay, there we go, we dropped down to 30s. Let's see. Settings, go to display graphics. Let's just lower this to balanced and see if that helps. Do we get always above 30 FPS experience now? Okay, then we drop down to 27 for a moment. So only one drop so far. So FSR balanced with low settings. Okay, here we drop. Okay, now that we're here, let's just see if we can get this up a little bit more. So FSR Ultra Performance, continue. Let's see if we can change something else. I don't think there's going to be anything else we can change. Field of view a little bit. Maybe that will help a little bit. Oh, this blur is quite awful. And it's still not helping. I then suggest you probably just go back to FSR balanced. Where we go. FSR balanced with the field of view back to like 4 something. you're still gonna get a decent frames for the card and less glitches. So this is more playable. There you have it. Spiderman Remastered on an R7260X. 11-year-old graphics card playing a newer title. I think this game released back in 2022 if I'm not mistaken. October or something like that, I can't remember. 2021 or 2022, so it's within the last 2 years. Now, if you like this video, please drop a like, comment and or subscribe if you can. And let me know what other games I should test on, let's say, an i7-2600K or an R7260X or an RTX 3060. Bye.